Hey guys, Tom here, and welcome back to another video on the Racing Joker channel. I am here relatively underground in the parking area where I normally park my car. I have moved it so that it is in a relatively convenient spot to do this video. You know, if you read the title, today I'm going to be talking about the wrap design I want to have this car wrapped in, you know, like the base color and the decals and other things like that. And also a few other things related to myself and the channel, and just random things, because I like making videos, and any video is good practice, and I can improve quality by gaining experience. So, let's get on with it. So first, before we even begin, there's going to be an STI wing here. So in like about 4 months, I'll have the money to pay for purchasing the wing and also having it installed, so like the labor costs and things like that. So that will be covered not too long from now. That's really cool. I feel like it'll really complete the look of the car, because from the front, you know, it looks really, really nice. I don't think I'm ever going to really want to change this, like body style wise. I think it looks fine. But from the back, you know, I feel like it seems a little softer to me, whether you guys can see what I mean or not. Like, it still looks pretty nice and sporty. I mean, it has the quad exhaust and the relatively aggressive lights, if not slightly less so, because they're a little small. But yeah, it looks cool, but the spoiler will definitely complete it. And yeah. So as I said, you know, I'm just going to be talking about like the wrap design with the base color and the general theme of what I want this car to be when it's done. So without further ado, let's begin. And I have my notes here on my phone to make things easier for me, so that this isn't horribly awkward, and I can also do things in order so that I can keep track of what I've done. So let's stand over here, and so that you guys can picture this. So the color I am aiming for is a color by 3M. I think it's either called Plum Purple or Plum Explosion or something like that. A picture will be popping up on the screen now, and I will also have a link to it in the description for you guys to see and for reference. You know, I'm always going to be crediting my sources, so you can use those to find out more about the stuff I'm using in my videos whenever it isn't like something made by me. So that's cool. So the color is going to be Plum Purple. I'm sure most of you have enough imaginative power to picture this car being purple with the color I've just showed you. It should be really, really cool. So yeah, and moving on, this car is supposed to be a Joker themed car. So that's why the base color is purple. And then basically the secondary color, which is going to be used for all of the decals, that's going to be green. Okay? So let's start with the side. So because this is Joker themed, there's going to be a lot of things taken from the character. For instance, for the side, I'm going to have the flower that he normally has attached to his jacket right here. And this is the flower that normally, you know, like either spurts out acid or like laughing gas toxin or something like that. And so the idea is that the flower will be here in whatever design it might be, and then green acid or laughing toxin stuff will be streaming across the side of the car, maybe like up to here or to here, whichever flows better. And then right here we'll have a cutout amongst all the green, so it'll basically look purple. Will be a jester symbol cut out, you know, because it's the Joker, and I feel like that would look kind of cool. And it'll be that way for both sides. So yeah, that is the side of the car. Flower, acid or toxin streaming across with the jester symbol. And there's not really much to say about the roof. I considered having it be green, like the same green color as all the other decals, or having it purple. I'm not going to have it be black or carbon or anything like that, but basically the only things I've really considered are having this be purple like the rest of the car, or be the secondary color, which is green. I got to decide that, but it has crossed my mind. So that's that. So now let's go on to the rear bumper. Why not? So for the rear bumper, as you guys know, this car is called the Heist. And so to keep up that kind of theme, because this car is like a getaway car and stuff like that, and because the Joker is crazy and is always looking for trouble, even if he doesn't really intend to, or blah, 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 I figured I would have it say, Heist me, right here, and have a set of Harley Quinn diamonds here, or here, and another Jester symbol here. So text, Harley Quinn symbol, Jester symbol. I feel like that would be kind of cool. And then for the trunk, just kind of wherever they would kind of look appropriate, I would want to have in the style of kind of the Suicide Squad font, like the words "ha ha" and other stuff like that. Just kind of put wherever on the trunk, wherever it may work, like maybe here and maybe here. You know, all of these decals are going to be green, just to help make sure that you're picturing this correctly. You know, like, so it's going to say "Heist Me" in green text, and the symbols are going to be green. And it might say "Heist Me" in print, or it might have some kind of special font. I haven't really decided. I want it to be legible, but I also want it to have some kind of style to it. So it might also be in the same font as, you know, the ha-has with the jagged edges to make it look kind of crazy and things like that. All right, so that is the rear bumper and the trunk. Oh, and here's the rear window. I might as well talk about that. I don't really intend to have anything put on the rear window. The more I think about it, you know, as of right now, maybe. But as you can see, at one point in time when it was really foggy out, I decided to write Joker on the back, and then my friend tried to make a Jester symbol here, which was kind of funny. And then a friend I've recently made, who has become very quickly one of my bestest friends, she wrote HQ because she's basically Harley Quinn. She is pretty much my Harley, so she signed that, and so now she owns the car, as she says. And I have no problem with that. She actually really enjoys the car, so she appreciates it, therefore she can own it as much as she likes. All right, moving on. So we have done sides, roof, more or less, rear trunk. I have more than one trunk. And rear bumper. Now let's talk about the front bumper. Okay? So we have these nice spaces here on the car. These nice big open spaces, which are great opportunities for personalization, because you can just put just about anything in there and it still looks pretty nice. So for this side, I wanted to say Clown Prince. And on the other side, I either wanted to say Puddin' or Mr. J. And I want it to be in the same font as the stuff on the back. So like with the jagged edges, like kind of like the ha-has and from Suicide Squad and all that good stuff. And so for the hood, oh, my car needs to be cleaned. There are handprints all over this. Okay. So for the design of the hood, because this is Joker themed and we already have the flower on the side, you know, that he would normally wear on top of his suit, I might as well incorporate another thing from his suit. So we have this nice, convenient kind of potential line here, this kind of square or rectangle, where we could basically have the design of his undershirt. You know, we could even use these lines here to make it a little bigger, you know, just to cover more of the hood in case that looks better. And so basically the way it would work is we would have, you know, cutouts to basically make button circles, and another cutout to make like a bow tie, and it would basically look like the green undershirt the Joker wears on the hood of the car, which I think would look kind of cool. Which I think would be kind of cool. It seems kind of goofy, but hey, this car is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Might as well keep up with that. So yeah, and then onto the back for the last bit. The last thing is the spoiler, which you can't see yet, but it will be here very soon. So the design I want to have on the spoiler, and so just like with the rest of the car, the spoiler is also going to be wrapped purple, but on the sides, you know, on the flaps here, I want it to be green on both sides. And for the left side, if you guys can picture this, I want to have another cutout of the Jester symbol, so it'll be green, filling the side of the spoiler, but then it will be cut out to show the purple, and it will be a purple Jester symbol more or less. And then on the other side, just a J or something like that. So yeah, I don't even think I don't even think these might not even come out, but there's a handprint here, this one here, here. Okay. The car hasn't been cleaned in a long time. I'm not even sure if it's been cleaned since I bought the car in May. So this poor thing has been very dirty for a very long time. But anyways, that is the design of the car. So let's get into the car and actually go for a quick drive and talk about a few other things. Mostly things that are just going to come randomly to mind, but hey, anything makes for a good video. Okay, so now we're in the car. You should be able to hear me just fine. I have made a video like this before already. If you want to see it, a link will be in the description below, or you can just search it if you're not lazy. Where I did a camera test with this setup. You know, I have the camera just on my left side window. It does obscure my vision a little bit, so I'm not going to be making videos like this too often, but it's not actually that bad. It doesn't create like a blind spot or anything. It's just right next to my head. Because if I put it behind it, you'll see my hair and my face, and that'll be kind of weird and distracting for the viewers. So let's turn on the car. It's beeping at me because I don't have my seatbelt on or something. All right. Good. I can't turn on music because copyright. It's fine. So we're just gonna drive around my campus area for a little bit and talk about shit. So, few updates on stuff. So, I have been working as a security guard, and that is why I am able to say when I will have a spoiler for this car. You know, I make okay money for a college student, considering I don't have any other fees I need to pay. So I'm just profiting every week and saving up for essentially just car stuff. All right. So hopefully you aren't getting too many vibration noises. The roads aren't perfect, but they are a lot better than the roads in Texas. I mean, Jesus. So one thing I just wanted to mention really quickly is that I am almost done with recording a video series that I have talked about before. I am recording a series where I'm playing the old Need for Speed Most Wanted from 2005. I'm not doing the campaign, I was just doing the challenge series just for relatively easy content and to practice doing gaming videos. And when I finish that, which will be about next weekend, I'm going to start a video series of me playing the Arkham games, and so I'm obviously going to start with Arkham Asylum, and then if, you know, I'll probably play the rest of them because why not? I mean, I am the racing Joker, so might as well play all of those games because it should be fun. And I haven't actually played them properly, even though I know all the stories and stuff like that. And recently, actually, I've been getting really into you know, Batman and the Joker and stuff like that, because I've been meeting a lot of people who are actually really into that. So like one of my roommates, who is a really cool dude, who might actually make an appearance on the channel if he wants. You know, he might want to go for a ride in the car or something like that, or just talk about Joker and Batman stuff, you know, because we had a long conversation that felt a lot like a frickin', I'm actually gonna go straight, that felt a lot like a mini, not a mini, it was actually pretty long, but like a private podcast without an audience, because we were just talking about stuff. We were talking about like how each Batman villain individually challenges him in his own, in their own way, based on their own theme, and how they're all special, and blah blah blah. And it was really, really cool and really fun. And then, kind of also a bit more around the same time as me finding out that he's into Joker Batman stuff, I made a really good friend who has, in the span of about two and a half weeks, at like 3 weeks tops, probably not 3 weeks though, she has become one of the bestest of best friends I've ever had. And she is, in all honesty, essentially Harley Quinn. And for that reason, we have been getting along really well. You know, she signed the back of my car. She now basically owns it, so it's not really my car. You know, she watches this video and she hears me say this is my car, she's probably going to come after me. So anyways, moving on. Other stuff to look forward to with the channel is My phone just made a noise. So another thing to look forward to with content I'm producing is I want to do live stream stuff. I feel like that would be really fun. You know, I can play games that I've finished, like, you know, like after I've completed a game, if I wanted to try and 100% complete the game, I could do that on there, and then upload the highlights to, you know, the main channel and blah blah blah. So that could also be really cool. I must behave. The police like to hang out here by the fire station. Oh, speaking of behaving and like getting tickets or just getting in trouble vehicular wise, I have, in the span of the past like 3 or 4 days, gotten 2 parking tickets. One was a $15 one, and the other was a $20 one. I had put 2 hours on my on the parking meter, thinking that would be enough time. But holy crap, I was dead wrong. I came outside, I was driving around with my friend, and neither of us noticed until probably 10 minutes into the drive that I had a piece of paper flapping around on my hood. It's a good thing it didn't come off, because that would have been really awkward. And I saw it and I went, oh shit, I have a ticket, don't I? Well, that's great for my mood. And so yeah, it was a ticket. It was $15 because I left the car at a parking space for too long, and I literally paid for it. And then at one point, my friend and I went to get dinner at a place in one, like it's called a marketplace, basically just a cafeteria in one of the dorms. And so I parked my car in front of the dorm, not really obstructing anything. No one parks there at that time of day. But it turned out it was a no parking zone, so it didn't really matter. And so I came back from lunch or dinner or whatever the hell it was with my friend, and I ended up being charged $20. I've paid both of these tickets because I don't want to do it late, because that would be not smart. My phone just vibrated. It's trying to distract me. Don't text and drive, kids. That's really stupid. So yeah, that's fun. It's not the most expensive ticket you can get. Like speeding, for instance, is a lot worse. Reckless driving is also pretty bad. There's all sorts of things that can be a lot worse than parking tickets. But for me, getting parking tickets, you know, it's really easy to not get them. So it's kind of demoralizing when you do. Here is the library on the right. I patrol this on Friday mornings from 3 to 7 a.m. It's actually not that bad because it's really quiet. So you just walk around and check certain points of the library for several hours, and then head back and go to sleep because I have Friday off. So it's not that much of a problem for me. Another really cool thing is that I've gotten really used to driving this car. So, you know, it's a bikeist. I downshift and rev match a lot better now. Like, I made a big deal about me being able to do that in previous videos. You know, I really want to learn how to do that. I've gotten a lot better at it, to the point where when I was driving around with Harley, she thought it was really hot the way I would do that. Ooh, my exhaust just crackled. Ooh. That was kind of cool. But anyways. Sorry, that distracted me. My ADHD brain. So anyways, I've gotten a lot better at upshifting and downshifting, so I shift smoother in both instances, you know. So I give more or less the right amount of revs, or at least the right amount of revs. Sometimes I do get a little overzealous with it. But with upshifting, it's a lot smoother. Especially at higher speeds, or when I'm trying to accelerate really hard, which I'm not going to demonstrate, especially in this area of town. Because, as I said, I work with security, which means that if I get in trouble and the police like start to get used to seeing a silver Subaru WRX misbehaving, and then they see me commute to the police station in a silver Subaru WRX, that's probably not going to be very good for me, employment-wise. So I have to be relatively intelligent about how I drive this car, at least in this area. You know, highways are highways, so no one cares about what you do on those, right? Ugh, it crackles. I love it. I only just started noticing that it crackles very recently, which is kind of funny, actually. Maybe it's because I mostly drive around listening to music. Oh, it crackles. Crackle, crackle, pop, motherfuckers. Why so serial? Oh, pff. I just realized I'm still wearing this wrist thing from when I went to a club last night. I've actually been collecting these quite a bit. I think I probably have 4 or 5 of these, all from the same club. Oh, another fun thing that I guess I can kind of retail to you guys is I've launched this car a few times now, and it's really fun. But for those of you who don't know, I can turn off traction control in this car, and basically what happens is on the dash down here, it basically lights up a thing that says track mode, okay? So technically speaking, this car has a track mode where traction control doesn't interfere and all sorts of delicious stuff like that. And up until yesterday, I hadn't launched my car before without track mode on. So I always had traction control interfering, and you could notice it. You know, it would be affecting the throttle and other things like that to make sure you wouldn't break traction. Hence the nature of traction control. I like driving at night. There's no one on the road, which means there's fewer people I dislike. I'm actually not that much of an angry driver. I haven't actually road raged once so far, and I've been driving a fair bit, actually. I have other people road rage at me because I've made some pretty weird mistakes, but or at least flip me off anyways. So anyways, before I completely go off a tangent into insanity, I launched my car with track mode on yesterday. Because I was with Harley, and I was trying to show off, basically. I'm sure that doesn't surprise you guys at all, but it was actually really, really cool. It felt a lot better. The car pulled much better, and I think I got pretty close to the official 0 to 60 of, like, I don't know, 5.5 or 5.8 seconds. 0 to 60 is somewhere in there. One really funny thing about being a student at the University of Iowa with a car like this, you think, wow, this is a really nice car. But because I spent my freshman year here without a car, I already know that this car is not the nicest car you're going to see here. Like, so there are students here with Maseratis, Audi R8s, Liberty Walk GTRs. I think there's also an AMS GTR, which is, you know, one of the alpha package cars, which is overkill. Someone also has like an Aston Martin DBS. I really love that you can hear the turbos spooling in this car. So like in my dad's car, in his 340i, which he has also tuned, by the way, to have like 430 horsepower or something silly, you can't hear the turbo in his car spool up. At least not as easily as mine. With mine, you can hear it whistle and you can hear it go whoosh when you take your foot off of the accelerator, which is really, really cool. But with his car, it's just perfectly silent. All you can hear is his inline six. So like with this car, you can hear both the boxer motor and also the turbo spool up, and you know it's whistling, and it's really obvious that you're pushing the car and making it work. And then the miles per gallon goes down because you're freaking booking it. And I know I said this in a previous video that I would be making videos with those glasses that I got before, and I will eventually. I just need to bring myself to do it. I should have done it last weekend, but I didn't because I was having fun. I would have done it last weekend, but you know, unexpectedly, I got to have fun, and so you know, Harley came to visit, and I was having a good time with her. We were having fun watching Batman-related stuff, or Suicide Squad, or blah blah blah, and talking about Harley Quinn and the Joker and all that good stuff because she's Harley Quinn, therefore her perspective is valuable. So, I've brought her up a bunch of times, so I might as well just keep talking about her. So, the reason why she's so cool is that we've got along with basically everything. So, like, I've talked about how she's Harley Quinn and stuff like that, but she also really likes cars, okay? She's not that into driving them quickly, though she doesn't mind driving them quickly with me because she just trusts me in the way I drive, which is really nice. And so, she likes personalizing cars. So let me give you guys a story that I'm probably never going to forget. She told me about how she managed to do a Honda Civic like engine swap in like a ridiculous amount of time. I can't actually remember the amount of time. It was something like 7 or 8 hours. Okay, if she ever makes an appearance here on the channel, she can just tell you how incredible she is. So we were having this conversation. I was talking about how like I like cars, she likes cars. Oh, low tire pressure. And so that's really cool. Like, so she's pretty amazing. So I'm talking to her about that. I asked her like, how much did the whole engine cost? How much did the motor cost? And so engine and motor are different things, but how much did it cost? And she said about like $400 or something like that. She just got the motor from a friend. And I go, wow, and that's really a lot cheaper than everything that I look at when I'm looking at cars. You know, granted that makes sense. You know, like my car is a brand new Subaru WRX, and all the other engines I look at are engines from BMW, so stuff like the S65 or the RB26 for the R34 Skyline GTR. And so I tell her, well, yeah, I mean, all the engines I look at are really expensive. Like for example, I looked at an engine for a Skyline, and I was like, $20,000, and she looks at me like I'm an idiot, and she goes, well, yeah, it's a Skyline. And I'm like, the whole reason why I did that was to kind of test to see if she knew what a Skyline was, and in the process, without really thinking about it, I made myself look really stupid. But then it turned out that she knows what a Skyline is, she appreciates what it is, she thinks it sounds really cool. We just get along with basically everything. And so the moral of the story here is, because I also do talk about life and other stuff like that on the channel, is that meeting her, someone that I've just gotten along with like immediately, like instantly, we just bonded over so many different things. Someone like that is really special. And so I've told my story before, but I'll tell it in a much briefer kind of version. I traveled a lot. I've moved 9 times in my entire life, and I'm only 19 years old. So I've never really spent more than 3 years in one place. So spending 4 years at university, as long as I don't fail, will be pretty new for me. Being in the same place, getting used to it, and other things like that. So that's pretty cool and pretty special. But that also means that because I've moved around so much, that means I've had to leave behind a lot of people. And I've made some really good friends, you know, because I've lived in South Africa, where I made a bunch of really good friends from the community there. I lived in the UK, where I made a ton of great friends, where all of them except for one actually still talks to me and wants to hang out with me, because we both live in the US and we both really get along. But he's really cool, and so he's one of the few people who stuck around. So I have very little constants in my life, you know, very few constants rather. So what I'm trying to say is I have very few constants in my life, very few things that stay the same. The surroundings don't stay the same, the people don't stay the same. So I have to leave behind a lot of people, and so it's a lot like loss. It's not like death, but the likelihood of me ever being able to talk to these people ever again, or just maintaining my friendship with them, isn't very high. You know, I might talk to them once or twice, but not much is really going to come of it, because maintaining a friendship like that from across the world is freakishly exhausting. And so I've only one of my friends has actually stuck around from that. And the only other people who have remained constants in my life and have stuck around with me are my parents and my dogs, who are gone. My parents aren't gone, my dogs are. Sorry. Should have been a little more clear about that, but that's why finding someone that I get along with so well is special, because I feel like she could be a potential constant. And this may not be as relevant for people who don't travel as much as me. However, even for people who don't travel, I still think it's pretty relevant, because it's just important to recognize the people that you connect with so naturally, like it's meant to be. I'm not one who believes in fate or destiny, but you know, I believe that sometimes things are happen for a reason, and so once those things happen, it's basically like being presented with an opportunity, and you make your destiny what you want it to be, and so you have to act. And so when you find someone that you become really good friends with, like it's meant to be, like it's happening for a reason, you maintain that relationship, because that person is going to be worth it. And I feel like Harley is one of those people. Like, so I haven't met someone who sees herself as Harley Quinn, loves the character Harley Quinn, loves the character of the Joker, likes cars, agrees with me on so many things, and basically thinks just like me. She's basically just a female version of me, except that she's blonde. But she's the same height as me, which is also kind of cool. That doesn't happen particularly often, because I'm not actually that tall, I don't think. Don't ask me how tall I am, because I have no idea. People always ask me, how tall are you, when I always bring up my height. And then I go, no idea, because I don't actually check. But that's just an interesting observation. So she's really cool. More of the story is recognize the people you connect with and hold on to them. Deep philosophical talks with Tom, or the Racing Joker. I'm a philosophical Joker. Let's get deep with the Joker. Oh, my brain. It's also a lot later, and I usually get goofy when it gets later at night. Fun fact about me. And so, whilst I drive back to my place, because I don't want to drive for too much longer with this low tire pressure thing, I've been checking off a lot of stuff on my first car bucket list. So, you know, I've launched the car, I've gone over a certain speed that I'm not going to say on camera, because that would be the equivalent to a confession, and yeah, just moving on. I've done relatively long drives, about half an hour. I've done a road trip from Texas to here with my parents, so that kind of counts as that, but I still need to do like a full-on road trip where I arrange that with my friends and we go somewhere interesting. That would be really cool. Other cool things that I've been really looking forward to doing in the car that I have done is I've driven around a lot with the music playing, with my windows down. And another fun fact, I didn't ever realize that this would be something that I would enjoy doing, but I've also gotten people's attention by revving the engine. I think you can probably guess whose attention I got, and it worked, and she came over and got in the car. She was already waiting for me anyways, but it was a really funny feeling, because that's something that only happens in like movies or cartoons, where it's like, vroom vroom, hey baby, want to go for a ride? I thought it was really kind of cool and funny at the same time. Now you guys get to see how horrible getting into where I park is. And don't worry, I won't get ticketed. Oh, I'm gonna scrape. I hate scraping. I didn't scrape! Yay! I think it's because I have the camera. It's funny, every time I say I'm going to scrape, I end up not scraping. So, maybe I just need to say that. Although that might also just make the saying lose its power. And then I'll scrape every single time. And then my poor car will not be happy. So anyways, that's the video. So, hope you guys liked hearing about what I have in mind for the car wrap design with the purple and all the cool decals. I have it all written down, don't worry, so it's not gonna get like distorted as I forget things or anything like that. And maybe you guys also enjoyed getting life advice from me. Who knows? And just getting an update on what I'm doing. You know, the update is, you know, for people who care. So, and most of the time, the people who are watching my videos are people who know me right now because the channel isn't that big. And so, you know, it's kind of like watching a Snapchat story or something like that, because I don't really use Snapchat that much, but I do use it some, and I also don't really post updates on Facebook, so this is their best shot at following what I'm up to whenever I deign to make videos, which I will try to deign to do more. Deign. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video however you can, in any way you can, regardless of how morally compromising it might be. I am Tom, the Racing Joker, signing out of YouTube. Until next time.